As a math teacher, I am used to waiting for my students to have those light bulb moments, those little ahas that tell me that they understand this one concept and that they're ready to move on to the next. And so when it came to trying to find understanding with my ex-husband and his actions with betrayal and abandonment, I expected to have those light bulb moments in myself. And so I kept studying and reading and watching and listening and digging into everything that I could think of and find, looking for that understanding, looking for my light bulb moment. And it never came. And eventually I came to two realizations about my search for understanding. One, I was trying to apply rational thought to irrational actions. And that simply doesn't work. It's two completely different things, and there's no way that I would ever be able to make sense of the senseless. The second thing that I realized was part of the reason that I couldn't find any understanding was that regardless of the circumstances, I could not imagine myself making the same decisions that he did. I simply couldn't imagine abandoning my partner or betraying them or lying to them for years, living a double life. It didn't make any sense to me. So no wonder I couldn't understand it, because it simply wasn't something that I could do. So after all, you can't understand what you cannot even imagine. I spent months trying to reconcile the man that I loved, the man that I thought I knew, with the man that he apparently was. I kept asking myself, how could he do this? Why did he do this? I kept looking for those reasons. So much of my pain came from that dissonance, that disconnect between who I thought he was and who he was. And eventually I came to realize that what I needed wasn't really understanding. What I needed was assimilation. I needed to figure out how this man could be, well, both my protector and my persecutor, both the man I loved and a monster. I had to figure out how my image of him fit in with who he really was. In some ways, our search for understanding reminds me of walking into a movie theater that's showing an action movie, and you come in right at the climactic scene, with all of the big battles and explosions and, all of that action on screen. And you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to figure out what happened to lead up to this moment. Who are the good guys? Who am I supposed to be cheering for? Who are the villains? What do I want to happen here? Oh, wait, what's going on now? And your brain is working so hard trying to figure out that first part of the story. And that's what happens to so many of us after unwanted divorce or betrayal, abandonment, all of that, is we've got that climactic scene. We have that big explosion, but we don't know about the narrative that leads up to that point. And so our brains are searching. They want to understand. They want to know what led up to this. They want to make sense of it all. And the thing is, we probably will never really know. There's nobody that's going to, drop the script for those first few years of your life in your lap, letting you see all of those hidden scenes that you didn't know about. But what I truly have come to believe and live is this. It's not about finding understanding. It's about creating understanding. As long as you leave all those questions there as a big gaping hole, your mind is going to keep focusing on it, trying to fill it in. But if you can tell yourself a narrative, if you can figure out a story that makes sense to you, regardless of how fact-based it is, that lets your mind rest. So you don't need to understand in order to move on. But you do need to let go of looking for that understanding, of that need to understand why. You may never know, but that's okay. And remember that not understanding, that might just be the best reflection of your character possible.